Donna, can you hear me?
I can now. I was just about to message. I couldn't hear and if it was my computer.
Hey, Megan, can you hear me now? Okay, Donna says, could you hear me when you logged in, Donna?
I can hear you now, Sherry.
Okay.
I couldn't earlier, but now I can. So I don't know if it was me.
Cool. Well, we'll just start over. How are you today, Megan? How are you, Donna?
Good.
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good,
Looking forward to the weekend.
good. Okay, so I was just going down the path of talking. I kind of recapped. So I guess we're starting over. So, for those of you that are listening to this and are catching this, we are currently in the middle of a bookkeeper boot camp. So helping bookkeepers market their bookkeeping business and really start to understand who they're looking for and then how to get in front of them. So if that's you, there will be a link in the description to join and register for that boot camp. You can, if you're listening to this after, we're on day 3 today. You can still register and get all the replays and ask us questions in the group and participate with that. If you have been joining us all week long, we cannot wait till Monday for the giveaways. We're so excited for all of those things coming on Monday. With that said, right now the Bookkeeper Blueprint doors are open. If you're looking for a community of other bookkeepers, of coaches who have been where you're wanting, or they are where you're wanting to be, that's just a great group to join. There are 12 of us coaches over there, helping answer questions, helping give you ideas for when you get. So those doors are open right now, and I believe they close Monday night, June 3rd. So we would love to see you in that. We'll have an onboarding call on Wednesday, June 5th. So we're super excited to see you on that onboarding call. If you would like to schedule a sales call, there is an opportunity to do that as well. Yeah, there's the announcements. We're having a lot of fun wins. People are finding their niches this week. And what the common theme that we've heard this week from this boot camp is people don't feel so alone. When you're starting a business, it feels like you have to figure everything out on your own. And we've heard from bookkeepers that they've just, even in the boot camp, they hear solutions, resources, and they're like, oh, I finally have found a community and I'm not so alone anymore. I'm not trying to figure all of this out myself. So cool, fun week there. Okay, so today we were kind of continuing the conversation around leads, building your audience, finding who your people are to share that you're a bookkeeper, and find those clients. What we're hearing is, yeah, but I just need a client. That sounds all great and good, but I just need a client. If it's you, can you put that in the comments wherever you're listening at, so that we know, so that we can support you on your journey to getting that first client, to getting the next client. So I just need a client. What do we do when we just need a client? The best way to market your business is to have conversations. And what we did over the boot camp, and Megan, feel free to join whenever.
Okay.
But what we've been talking about is really how to start those conversations with people we think might need bookkeeping services. But then how do we know who needs bookkeeping services? And that's where we walked through a lead magnet and just a resource, a training of how do we get them to raise their hands? How do we get them to say, oh, that's me. I struggle with time management. So, like as a new business owner, I don't know what to deduct. I don't know what I can or can't deduct. I would like more clarity on what I can deduct for taxes. And once we start to get some feedback in these conversations, we start to know how to communicate with more of them. We start to figure out what that person looks like, where that person is, what Facebook groups that person is. We learn where to find them. And in finding them, we build relationships, and then we build leads. Because they've now gotten the resource, they're on your email list. Now we're talking to that person on our email list, even on our Facebook page. So now we don't know what to post. We've moved from, we have no clue what to post on social media to get that ideal client to say, hey, I need you. We now know exactly what they need. And so instead of following what everyone else is doing, we're saying, hey, Sally, I see you. I know you, because we know the person we're talking to, and we're able to talk to like a friend. On Facebook, we're able to show up and say, I see you struggling to grow your business. It's hard. It's hard to be a business owner. Here's this resource for you. Or here's something I'm using in my business right now, even though I'm a bookkeeper and you're a plumber. So that's what we've been doing in the boot camp. But I want to kind of focus more on, I just need a client. What do we do when we just need a client? Conversation. So we did a marketing challenge 2 years ago now. Gosh, 2 years ago. And we called it the 5-day marketing challenge. It has now been reformatted into 4X Revenue Rally, a program that we, like a tiny course, mini course, a 5-part course for you guys. And in that training, we walk you through what to do on the 5 days, what to be doing every day, and how to start to build a client relationship management list. So we give you an Excel sheet, and really all we're trying to get you to do is have 100, 300 conversations. If you had 300 conversations a month with business owners, and in each of those conversations, if they said, yeah, I'm just not looking for a bookkeeper right now, you followed up and said, oh, I totally get it. I totally get it. Do you know someone else who might be looking for a bookkeeper? So then they were able to shout out, oh, I have a brother-in-law who actually might be looking. I know this lady at church who might be looking. Would you mind sending me an email with both of us on it, or can I get their information? I would love to reach out to them. Now that 300 turns into more people. But I use a formula that I'll share with you today. So if you need a pen and paper, go grab it. Go ahead and open your phone notes and write this down. For every 100 people we talk to, and just the caveat is 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in marketing. That comes from Cameron Montgomery. He is the owner of Apex Methods. He does Facebook marketing, and he is we 100% recommend him and his program. He specifically serves bookkeepers. So just a quick shout out to him. That comes from him. So I just want to put that little disclaimer on it, that 1 + 1 does not equal 2. When he said that, I just thought that was so true. But the kind of framework I use when I'm looking to get clients and to see if I'm doing enough myself, if I'm putting in enough effort to get the clients I'm looking for. I say 100 conversations, so 100 people will yield about 10 people who said, oh, hey, I need a bookkeeper. Out of that, I would likely get 5 of them on a discovery call. And this could happen within the first 20, but it might take you all 100. 5 of them are going to say, hey, I would love to talk to you more. You're going to get them on a phone call. You're going to get them on some sort of, let's discuss more. And you could do this in Messenger. This could also be in Messenger. But this is the conversation of, what does it look like to work with me? Am I a good fit for you? Are you a good fit for me? From those 5 conversations, we would expect about a 20% close rate, and that would yield 1 client. You could have 5 clients. When I started, I almost closed every single one of my discovery calls. By the time that I got them on a call, it was really just to sign the engagement letter, because I did so much work in the message conversations. So you could find that to be true as well. I just wanted to give you the framework that I use to let me know, have I done enough to talk to people? And so when I decided to take my business and 4X my business in a summer, I did 300 a month. 300 was my target. I wanted to talk to 300 real human beings. This can be in Messenger. This could be in the comment section of Facebook, really interacting with someone who has said, I'm a business owner. I'm looking for direction. I'm looking for help with bookkeeping, those types of things. And that would bring about 30 conversations of, oh yeah, no, I'm really ready to pursue what this would looks like to have a bookkeeper on my team. From there, I would get on about 15 calls a month. And I did Zoom calls just because that was easy for me. When I started my business, I just did phone calls. I think Megan to this day still does phone calls primarily. And so 15 just phone calls, and they can be 15-minute calls. I give you a script for this too in that revenue infusion bundle of all 3 of those. There's like 3 mini courses in there. So if you're looking for a script, it is there. So 15 calls would yield about 3 clients a month. At the time that I 4X'd my revenue, my average client was probably 600 to 800 a month. I would have to go back and look. I don't remember that off the top of my head. But even if you said, and I'm conservative when I do math. So if your minimum that you would charge anyone is 300, just take 3 times 300, and you would know that that would add 900 in minimum. The minimum you would get from that is 900 in monthly revenue or one-time revenue. If you're doing a cleanup or something like that. If your minimum is 500, it's obviously going to go up to 1,500. And how many times do you have to repeat that process to get to your $10,000 goal, your $5,000 goal, your $20,000 goal? Maybe you have a goal that's higher than that. That's totally fine. Totally achievable. Maybe your goal was like, when I started out, my goal was to take home $1,200 a month after all of the expenses. The business had to 100% pay for itself. I bootstrapped 100% of it. It was a hobby that needed, like, it needed to pay for itself. So that would have been if I was charged, and at that point, I think I was charging 300 a month. So 4 clients at 300 a month, that would have been 400 people. That's it. Only 400 people. That also sounds like a big number. Who here, when I said that's not a big number, kind of freaked out? It is a big number. But as you start getting into groups, what if you flip the situation? What if you had 400 people on your email list that you were emailing every week because they said, hey, I need a bookkeeper. I would like to make sure I'm taking the right deductions. And now you're sending a tip, a trick, a training, something, or just a nurturing email every week. And over, you know, a 3-month period, you had 400 people on your list. You can probably do that a lot quicker. And they just came from email, and you're not having to post 3 times a day on Facebook because you're participating in groups, or you've started your own group and you've grown your Facebook group to 400 people. And now you're just posting in your Facebook. But there are Facebook groups. Like I just saw, there's a Facebook group one of my friends just posted, and what's the group called? Women. So one of my friends on Facebook posted women in a group called Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs. That group has, okay, so she posted, that group has like hundreds, I want to say hundreds of thousands of people in it. I was trying to go look, but she already has 32 comments and eight likes, hearts, etc. And she just did that an hour ago. So she went live in someone else's group. So she had permission to go live in that group. And what if that was you going live in someone else's group because maybe you've connected with, there's 862,000 members in that group. I thought that was their big group. What if you partnered with someone else's group and you said, can I just go live? Like, do you want to go live together in your group and I can just give this free advice? And you did that once a week to someone else's group, or you found 3 groups and you just made those 3 groups like your go-to. You're going to serve those 3 groups and start giving them resources that allow you to build your email list. And now you have 400 people that said, hey, I like you. I'm starting to get to know, like, and trust you. And now, yeah, I want emails from you. I want to hear more from you. And you've got 400 people on your email list, but you only needed, let's say you needed 1,200 a month. And maybe those 4 people, you know, they're not all 300, they're 300 to 500. So you've got 1,200 to 2,000 a month coming in the door so that you can take home 1,200. And then those 400, the beauty of that is we needed 4 clients right off the bat, right out of the gate. But those 400, some of those people are going to fall into the category that accountants know will take 6 months for them to sign. And so as you continue to send emails, more of them are going to sign, more and more of them will sign. And you're going to continue to add people to your list. That feels like a simpler email strategy to me. Okay, so then email list, we just kind of talked about email list. How do you start an email list? We recommend, we recommend doing warm emails. So having someone opt in to your email list. And then we use a software called Equip 360. It is an affordable way to send emails. It's super easy to set up, but not only is it your email marketing platform, it is the platform to do your website, your lead pages, your landing pages, it hosts the PDF download. You can do courses in it. So if you wanted to send a video training, you can just record it right then and there, like in the course, like software, and send out like a login if you wanted. If you wanted to do weekly coaching for your business owners on bookkeeping, or what deductions they should take or monthly or whatnot, you can host it there. It's your social media management platform, like it replaces everything. It replaces Calendly, your appointment setting software. It is also your CRM. So it's not just email software. I do think CRMs and email management softwares are typically different softwares. This brings them together. So if you're finding that you need like 5 different softwares, you need one with this software, which we really like. It's called Equip 360, and Allie just posted the link for me there. So that is our go-to. And when you look at the price, because it replaces so many different softwares, it is the cheapest software we've actually found to use for it, for what it is and all of those things. So we like that. Just because you don't have to like then bounce around from different platforms. Okay, did I just make it easier for someone to hit and have a lot of conversations, to hit that number of conversations? Hopefully I put it in a framework that made sense for someone who's like, how do I get the next client? Ultimately, you get it by talking to people on or off social media. I think sometimes we get so focused on having a completely virtual business that we forget when we meet the teacher who has a hobby that she needs bookkeeping too. And it's okay to say, oh, if you ever need, I would love, if you ever need help with your bookkeeping, I would love to be a resource. You can join my Facebook group or email list, and I can send you stuff out as we go. And she might, like, even though she's a hobby, if you're just looking to get clients, you're under 100,000 in annual revenue, and you're looking to bring money in the door, she might be a really good candidate for like an annual cleanup. If she's not looking for monthly, she might be a good candidate for coaching on bookkeeping, doing a review. There might be something else you can do, but she also might know people because she's a teacher and she is interacting with people in person. So those connections bring referrals and help build you as an expert in your community, in addition to online. How are you finding emails to reach out? So Donna, that's a good question. This is building your audience on are you on Facebook? Like, is that where you're doing your social media marketing? So for instance, if you're on Facebook, that's where I was suggesting being active and participating in Facebook groups with admins and building partnerships with other admins. Adding people in your industry to your Facebook or LinkedIn, and then just letting them know, hey, I have a resource for you. Let me know if you want it. And then speaking to the problem that you're solving, because they care about themselves, they care about growing their business. And I think that's okay as business owners to care about growing your business and being on the lookout for resources that will help you do that. But you're now a resource to help them grow their business. And so if you can do that, if you can communicate that, that's what your posts are about when you post on Facebook, because we get a lot of questions about what to post on Facebook. Posting is relationship building. It's, hey, here's something for you. Here's something about me. Here's how to help you grow. And so then if they want the resource or things like that, they opt in to your email. So we don't I don't encourage cold email marketing. If you do it, there's a way to do it, and you would not use Equip 360 to do cold email. You cannot put cold emails into Equip 360. They have to opt in to be compliant on email marketing. Not as scary as it sounds. You just want them to go through the landing page and opt in to your email. So hopefully that helps. Is they kind of find you, and it's because you're getting in front of them. on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on groups, in networking groups, on Alignable, on mom group pages, because, you know, one of your friends started a business. So on local groups, I'm a part of a lot of local groups. They can be local tourist groups, local business groups. Megan used the example this week of cottage home bakeries, which I've joined so many groups of those because of the bookkeeping aspect. And now I'm like, can I start a cottage home business? No time. But, you know, in groups like that are very niche, you'll find a lot of people saying, I don't know how to do this for my business when it comes to bookkeeping. You'll have people ask, QuickBooks or Xero? Which one are you guys using? They'll ask, you know, my client just asked this, how do I refund them? I would like to hire my kid. How do I do that? And so you can start answering those questions, or maybe you have a resource on hiring children into a business, and you can say, oh, hey, here's how you do it. If you would like more information, I have a resource I would love to get to you. Let me know and I'll DM it to you. And then when you DM them, just say, hey, here's where you can go get that resource. It's 100% free to you. And you'll get their email in exchange for doing that. So, and that's all part of having those, you know, the 100 conversations a month, or 300, 400, depending on how many, how aggressively you're looking to grow your business. And what I found was 100 when I was growing my business was plenty. So I was doing about 90 to 100, maybe less some months, because it was like 3 to 5 a day. And on weekends, sometimes it was slow on connecting with people. But I just did that consistently. And I was at 3,000 a month, well within the first 6 months of my business. And then I increased it to 300 because I had a shorter time frame to take it from 3 to 10, or 3 to 12 is where I was headed. And I did hit like 12 to, I mean, cleanups took me well above 12 at that point in time when I was doing that. But I wanted to do that in like a 3-month period. So I did 300 conversations a month. And I just think it's a bonus, or like a really good motive, like motive to, in those conversations, can they also get on your email list? Can we also get them on your email list somehow? Because that gives you an opportunity to continue to reach out to them, and just makes that effort that you're already putting in work for you so much harder. And that's another way you can evaluate if the conversation is going to help your business forward. Are they someone that would want to be receiving emails from you on a weekly or monthly basis? And if they are, that's a good candidate to talk to about your services, or interact with, follow along with. Allie, I see you joined. I didn't say hi to you. Thanks for posting that link.
Of course.
Okay, so that is marketing. Allie, did you want to add, Megan, did you guys want to add anything to that?
I don't know if I have anything to add. I thought that was pretty good. I agreed with everything you were saying.
Oh, guys, I was totally missing these comments that came in during. Brad says, what is the name of your Facebook group, please? So that's the Bookkeeper Blueprint is our Facebook group. The Facebook group I mentioned on the podcast was Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs. And then someone said, it's very hard to find just one client. Is that your first client? Is it really hard to find your first client? Feel free to let me know if that's what you mean. Absolutely. It can very much be, it can be really hard. Often it's harder because we're not having enough conversations with people who want our services. So when we're suggesting adding, connecting with people on Facebook or LinkedIn, it's connecting with business owners who you would want to serve as, like, serve their business through bookkeeping. It's not just, and I made this mistake when I started, Megan. We're like, we don't know who to add. And so you go into groups and you just start adding everyone in the group without doing any sort of like investigation on, does this person actually own a business? Do I actually want to serve their business? And do they have a business that's big enough for me to serve? If you're looking for, like, if you're not looking for people that are just having hobbies. But hobbies can turn into businesses quickly. So that is up to you on who you add. But often the hardest part is getting started. And then when we get started, are we trying it enough? So if we just talk to 100 people and say, well, I did 100, I didn't get one. Again, 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in marketing, as Cameron Montgomery from Apex Method says. You might need to hit 200 or 300. I would be surprised though, that tells me you're not talking to the right people, or we're not talking to them in the right manner. So let me know, like, if you've talked to 100 people on Facebook that you've had a conversation about their business and where they're at with their bookkeeping. You've talked to 100 people like that and don't have a client, let me know. Something's really, really wrong. Okay, I think I caught up on questions and chats. It got hidden. Well, we also have a Q&A part on this call, so we can jump into that. If you have marketing questions, we'll do those first. And then I'm going to post, I realized I didn't post the link to join the call. If you guys want to join live to ask your questions, feel free to join here too. Okay. Okay, Donna, feel free to go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Okay, it's a bookkeeping question. But I accidentally undid a transaction from 2022. And it's a payment. It was a deposit coming in. And that deposit gets split between two customers in here, 2 invoices, and there was a received payment, and I'm seeing the received payment, but I can't get it to rematch to these anymore. Like when I ask to match, these won't pop in. But it's showing that the invoice is paid and that payments came in, but I can't get this deposit to match to it.
You might have to go back to like undo all of the transactions involved. So like, go back to the very beginning. There should be 2 received payments.
Yes.
Connected to the invoice.
Yep.
And then you unmatch the deposit. You might have to delete the deposit and redo it.
Okay.
And then just because we are on the podcast, just a reminder to everyone listening, always close the books on a prior year, so that you can't change transactions, but you might have to go back to the beginning and walk through that 4-step process to make sure. It sounds like it might just be a like software glitch, like a order of operations.
Okay. All right, that's scary, but yes, I'll do that. And yeah, I will from now on kind of check and make sure books are closed before I'm working in somebody's books. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so it's one of the first things I would recommend doing when you look at like their settings and things when you take a new client on. Just make sure they're closed, especially if you're not touching the previous year, like it's done, taxes are filed. It takes 2 seconds, but it's just a reminder for anyone listening. It's really easy to forget to do that if we don't have it as part of our like process to make sure the books are closed.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, you should be able to just go back and undo and then redo. Let us know in the Facebook group if you get stuck as you do that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Good morning, Letty. So I also see, where can I get an email address for marketing? So there's a couple of ways you can get an email address. You can do a Google business email address. So like you know, Sarah at bookkeepingplus.com would be a business address. So you could do that through Google, like Google Workspace will let you do it. That costs about $6 to $7, maybe $8 a month. If you need more storage, I think it costs $12, depending on when you sign up and what their rates are. I also know Microsoft 365 has an email, like Outlook has an email option. I just recently had to do an email for someone or with someone, and it was $25 for the year, for year one. So absolutely fairly straightforward to do if you, depending on where your domain is. So typically it's connected to your domain. And I use GoDaddy for all of my domains because I have since like 2014. So I'm just stuck over there in GoDaddy land. They make it pretty easy if you're wanting to use Microsoft 365. You'll go to your domain, you'll just say, hey, I want an email, and they'll walk you through the process of getting that set up. And then when you sign up for Equip 360, you can connect that email to the email provider, and it is pretty straightforward to set that up, but there's tutorials and things like that. We can also help with in our one-to-one coaching calls if you need help getting those set up. Allie says GoDaddy is super user-friendly and integrates everywhere. It's my fave. So she's kind of our go-to. So yeah, I'm glad that there's a lot of people using like Namecheap and Cloudflare. Cloudflare seems to be making it pretty easy from like a connection standpoint, but oh, sorry, Allie, were you saying something? No. I'm stuck in GoDaddy land. I used to audit GoDaddy's 401k because they're located in Arizona, in Tempe and Scottsdale. And so I've been inside of GoDaddy. But I started using them well before, probably because I was in Arizona and they're in Arizona, and that's who I found first. Okay, so now where do I get prospects' email addresses? I would not recommend just getting like an email list of emails. You want to post on your email, like post on your Facebook, update your cover page with, hey, I have this resource for you. You kind of want to drive traffic to that in some manner, and we recommend doing that organically at first. So posting it on Pinterest, posting it in other Facebook groups, and just adding value to other business owners, saying, hey, I saw you had this question, I have this resource for you, or hey, I recorded a quick training for you, would love to send it over to you. You can get that here, and then you would have a landing page. You would ask for their name, their email, and then there's going to be this little opt-in button that says, you recognize by entering this form, you're opting into our emails. So they have to positively opt in to that. And that's how you get their email addresses, just by conversations. You can also do that when they sign up for, if they want a phone call with you in order to get on your calendar, they can go through a form on your like landing page that makes them opt in to receiving emails from you. So that's how you would collect email addresses from anyone you talk to, so that you can email them. Yeah, good questions, good marketing questions. Cold emails do work. They can work. You have to do a lot of them. So if you send out 100 cold emails, like the open rate is what, it's like 2%. And then on top of that, you have to go through that same, so you have the open rate, but that's just who opened the email, not necessarily who clicked on the email. And opens can happen for a number of reasons. They're just looking to see, is this spam? And they're going to mark it as spam, or hey, I need to open this to archive it or whatnot. So you do have to work harder at cold emailing, and you cannot use a Quick 360 to do that. You have to go through another provider. So normal like MailChimp, ConvertKit, all of those popular email marketing platforms, you cannot. FG funnels, you cannot use a cold email list. They have to opt in, or you'll get your domain shut down. There are ways to do cold emails, but it's different software altogether. And I think a lot of people teaching on cold email marketing forget to really tell you that. And so we see that a lot with bookkeepers switching from other programs. They'll get into our program and we actually have to help them find a new domain in order to email market. We just had another one recently. We're having to help do that. So protect your domains. And if you have cold emailed in the past, there's a check that you can do on the on your domain authority and see if it's been damaged or where it's at. That will, the more quality domain you have in terms of how you've used the domain, the higher open rate you'll have. Like it will actually get to people's inboxes. Like the higher deliverability rate you'll have. So that it doesn't go to people's spam folders. We want them to see it. And just a reminder, if you are email marketing, one of the #1 reasons we hear people not want to email market is, in essence, they're scared of bugging people. They're scared of people unsubscribing. It's okay. It's not a rejection of you personally. Either they're cleaning up their inbox, they've gotten what they need from you. I've noticed on YouTube in general, like I will follow some YouTuber typically for like 6 to 18 months. And then I kind of move on. I've heard almost everything that they have to say. Not everything they have to say, but like I've heard their main teaching points in about 6 to 18 months. And then I typically move on to another YouTuber. And it doesn't happen intentionally. It's a natural, like, okay, I'm good. So that happens. We want to let people run their businesses. Enjoy the time that you have with them, but don't take it personally if they unsubscribe. Okay, any other questions while we're on? About your business, about who you're talking to, about bookkeeping? Donna, if you have another bookkeeping question. This is your live coaching opportunity.
I do have one more bookkeeping question.
Mhm.
I had, and I want to just double check on your thoughts. I had that post that I had for the needing an open balance for the LOC that I had. And I thought to just do the open balance, which you helped me do, and I figured that out just fine. I don't even know why I even had to ask that. I can tell I was at the end of my day, but there was a suggestion to just go ahead and do an expense, add an expense instead for the previous years, you know, what was still left over for what had been purchased. So what do you think between those two, to do an opening balance, or should I do the expense and just put that dollar amount as an expense to the supplies?
Yeah, so I guess my question one is, did they use that P&L? So the expenses and income report to file their taxes in the previous year?
They would have used a P&L. It would have what they were doing in the past is they were just using their bank to pay off that line of credit. So it wasn't really being tracked as a line of credit. It was just, but it did go out as like no. Only the dollar amounts that were being paid out. So the balance that was still due had not been accounted for yet.
But if their tax return was filed based on those financials, then you were changing the financials.
Right, but if I put it as of 1/1 of 2023 to show that these are expenses that were still never paid for yet and not accounted for, would that be okay?
So the only reason you hit an opening balance, so you'll know that I don't do opening balance equity, because there are expenses tied to that, or income. So if it's money into the account, it's income. We need to know what was not accounted for. And then potentially the tax return needs to be amended to account for those expenses. And I'm pretty sure the amount was multiple thousands. And so what happens when it's on the P&L is it flows through the retained earnings, which is an equity account, which is why people make opening balance entries. The problem is we don't know the income and the expenses that cause, like, opening balance equity doesn't exist in accounting. It's not a thing, because there's always income and expenses that make up that balance that is missing from the prior year financials. And so they should, so if you want a technical, what the right way to do it would be to go find what is missing from the financials and add what's missing, so that there's not an opening balance adjustment needed, just an adjustment to add and edit the financials and do an amendment. That would be the correct answer.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be.
But to just do a journal entry, assuming it's all expenses, we don't know that it's all expenses. It might be both income and expenses missing from the prior year financials. So when you said opening balance, I'm assuming that it's maybe a new QuickBooks file. We're not bringing over that. They don't have books. From the start of a business, they should have correct financials from day one. If they don't, a bookkeeper really needs to go back to day one and correct the financials from day one, to the point that they are incorrect. You should have a full clean history for the correct answer. There shouldn't be an $8,000, I don't remember the amount, just journal entry of, oh, we don't know what this is on the books.
Well, I know that it was, yeah. It was, okay, because I'm trying.
You should know the transactions, so you could highlight the transactions.
Well, the thing is this was that whole situation of they're using their credit line from a company they purchased their supplies from. So
Okay.
this year I wanted to start, for 2023 and 2024, I wanted to actually track those expenses. There would
So-
only just be a payment out from their bank account to pay off the line of credit to this other company that they're buying their supplies from. That's all that would ever be seen. And then that payment coming out was just being categorized to supplies and materials. So I turned around and took all the statements from that company for 2023 and 2024 and converted them all so that I could see all the transactions. Then I had to find out in that statement is only invoices, there's no payments. So then I had to go find all the payments and put those payments in manually. So I am tracking now as a credit card.
Your
Yes.
expenses though, those supplies expenses
Yes,
cannot be claimed. So if they're 2022 expenses, they cannot be claimed as 2023 expenses.
they're not. These are all just 2023.
2023 to the expense.
The
2023.
invoice, the statement literally says when those transactions were done. So I only brought in transactions myself onto the books for 2023 and 2024.
But you
But-
said someone gave you the suggestion to do a 1/1/2023 entry to expenses for those missing transactions
For the ones because when I
for 2022.
the company and was like, okay, what's the balance due prior to these January transactions, January purchases? They said that there was still a balance due from things bought in 2022. There was still a balance due of the 8,900.
Yeah, so that's really a question for the CPA. Is as long as the CPA will take them in 2023, you can put them on the P&L. If not, it's a retained earnings because the P&L closes out to retained earnings, which is why you could do a retained earnings adjustment because it should have been in retained earnings because it would have been expenses in 2022. But because they weren't claimed in 2022, we don't want to show them as claimed, like on the financials. We want to go ahead and just move them to retained earnings. If you want me to walk you through that further, I can definitely on a one-to-one coaching call, but it would then be up to the CPA. Are we claiming those 2022 expenses that were not on the tax return in 2022 in 2023? Then you can add them as a 1/1/2023 entry. But I wouldn't add them to supplies in 2022 without the CPA knowing what's going on.
Okay, yeah, because when I asked her, I didn't know how to word that. I did actually talk to her yesterday, unfortunately. She just said it's fine that that there's no real way to reconcile the LOC credit card because it's not really a credit card, but she just said, just make sure that the balance due is accurate. However it works out, I want to make sure that truly what they owe that company is accurate. The only way I can do that is to add those extra expenses.
So I would debit it and I would do a journal entry showing exactly what those expenses were. And I would debit and credit, if that's going the right way, the retained earnings.
So retained earnings instead of opening balance.
Yeah.
Retained earnings. And then what would be the other side of it?
The line of credit.
The LOC?
Mhm.
Okay, to make sure that I'm making sure that additional is put onto that.
Yep. And then I would explain exactly what those transactions are.
Okay. Okay, so go take that expense back off and redo the journal entry. Okay, got it.
So a quick reminder to everyone that is listening live, the doors to the Bookkeeper Blueprint, where we go more in depth to questions like these, is open through Monday. So if you haven't joined the boot camp and you want to continue conversations like this, feel free to do that. We have this call every Thursday. So feel free to get on. At the very end, we do live coaching with you, answering your questions, just like we did for Donna. So we will see you in the Bookkeeper Blueprint if you want to join that Facebook group where we can get to know you better there. But the doors are currently open and closing on Monday for the Bookkeeper Blueprint program. Anything else, Allie?
Yeah, if you're not registered for the boot camp, today's the last day. So come join us. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun today, close out the boot camp, and again, we're giving away prizes, so come earn some points.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We announced those winners on Monday as well. So there are 3 prizes there. Okay, coolio. Well, I will see you guys in the boot camp later this afternoon, and I will see you guys next Thursday for those of you that are normally showing up on these Thursday live calls. Okay. Bye, guys.